What's up, everybody? I'm Dr. Winters, and it is perfect outside. I mean, it is perfect spring weather. I hope you got the spring weather that I've got going on because it is amazing here in Texas. Anyways, you guys tagged me in a ton of videos like always, and guess what? They just keep getting crazier and crazier. Today, we got some wild stuff. Someone's tooth is wiggly, all this other. Let's just go ahead and get into the videos, and we'll just explain it there. Also, remember, we're trying to get to 10 million followers to get this racket off and see if there's a yellow square underneath. And so, well, I can only do that if you subscribe to me, so do that too. All right, what do we got here? Oh my gosh, this is a time lapse. All right, that's crazy. Yeah, those are your canine teeth. Okay, we'll go through, see it all, and then we'll go back and explain it. Okay, that's crazy. So basically, these are impacted canines coming in. Yes, we do use lasers to uncover those canines. So if you have to get canines uncovered, that's what it looks like. You then go in and you grab those little buttons, you pull them out with those chains, and you see those little springs on the side to help push open the space there to get everything in, and then it just comes right back in. This is actually a pretty common thing we do in orthodontics because, by the way, the canines are almost the most common impacted teeth in the entire world, right? So this happens quite a bit. And actually something like this takes a long time. Canines are the biggest, thickest teeth that we've got to move through the bones. And so it can take a full year sometimes to uncover and move these all the way across. So almost half of your braces treatment just to get these dang teeth in. And sometimes even then the canines just don't come in. They're budged, they're impacted, they're stuck. Kind of the rule of thumb that we have is if they cross anywhere past this midline between these teeth right here. So if they're past that and getting into the central incisor, like behind them, and worst case if they get to the midline, they're kind of really not a good chance of coming in. And so at that point we discussed taking them out and doing some implants or canine substitution or something like that. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of you in the comments are going to talk about this because you probably have had this before. Please weigh in. Let me know how it went for you because I know they're pretty common, but they do look kind of crazy. It's not as bad as you think, but it is a long process. But hey, you know, getting your Hollywood smile is a process we all want to go through. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't speak Spanish, but this dog sums it up perfectly for you there. That is the face that a lot of people make when they see this, but it is not as bad as it looks. But then again, what do I know? I haven't had this done on myself. I've only done it on thousands of people. So maybe the people down below in the comments, let me know how it went for you. All right, so we have got some, what is that? Oh my gosh, my man is trying to whiten some teeth that, I hate to tell you this, brother, those teeth are not going to get white anytime soon. And unfortunately, I see this all the time. This is actually the #1 thing that I see in the dental office that I wish I could just reverse is people that obviously need major work done. They got cavities everywhere. They got messed up teeth. And the first thing they always ask us, when I was a dentist, they asked me this. And when I specialized in orthodontics and did braces and Invisalign, same thing. They all said, how do I whiten my teeth first? Or even then, weirdly enough, a lot of people was like, you know, I know I've got these cavities. I've tried whitening strips from Walmart or whatever. It's not fixing my cavities. And it's just like, oh my gosh, what do we got going on here? And so there's two things. One is people are just uneducated, right? And it's unfortunate that they don't understand the disease state of their mouth and how serious it can be. In fact, a lot of the major, you know, bodily issues we have from heart disease, the liver disease, and now we're finding Strep mutans and Alzheimer's, all these different things. So yes, your body and your oral disease state really matters for your entire body. And no, whitening your teeth is not going to reverse that disease state. I know it's probably a self-conscious thing for you, and you're like, how do I make the appearance of my teeth better? And so you're trying to whiten them, so maybe they'll be like cavitated but white, and so it won't be as bad. I can understand the thinking, but unfortunately, it's something we need to flip around and do because we need to fix the problem first, and then you can whiten at the end. Like even if people had crooked teeth, they would come in and I'd be like, okay, well we need to do braces or Invisalign. They'd be like, oh no, I'm just trying to whiten my teeth. I'm like, what are we doing here? What's going on? So it's definitely something that I hope people understand. Like, yes, you can whiten after you get all of your stuff fixed. And if you have a big messed up mouth like this, it doesn't matter how much you try to whiten them, all these teeth are gonna just rot out eventually and fall out of your mouth and cause big problems. And you could even potentially, you know, from the disease states that you're getting in these things as the infection gets up and abscesses and bad stuff like that. Noxious says, man's trying to fix his gingivitis with whitening strips. Yeah, actually, it's not gonna work. It is what it is, unfortunately. We can't really fix much else in the world, and you know, all I can do is educate you guys. And actually, Mock kind of sums it up really well. He says, this is like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's actually like just like repeatedly poking a bullet wound. It's gonna make it worse almost in some cases. What this guy really needs to do, he needs to go in, he needs to get a cleaning, to get all that gunk and that gingivitis and inflammation out of there, and then he needs to get started working on all the cavities and cleaning everything up, and then at the very end, he can whiten. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I've been brushing my teeth with hydrogen peroxide for 8 months now. Let me tell you the pros and cons about it.
Okay, let's see.
Number one, it has kept my teeth white. And I don't use any mouthwash or whitening. This obviously isn't whitening toothpaste. Pro number two, when I'm brushing my teeth, it doesn't hurt anymore. I used to have extremely sensitive gums, and they would bleed and it would hurt a lot, so I'd have to use Sensodyne toothpaste. And that worked a little bit, but this has completely healed my gums. Now when I brush, I'm not bleeding and they don't hurt.
Interesting thoughts about hydrogen peroxide. You know, and I actually get this quite a bit because people they want white teeth. This is something that everybody wants, right? And so hydrogen peroxide is the thing that whitens their teeth. So first off, let's talk about the first thing, which is basically he said brushing with his mouth with hydrogen peroxide every day keeps his teeth white. The answer is yes, this actually will completely do this, especially if you're using food safe grade hydrogen peroxide. You're not using crazy weird percentages that can harm you and stuff like that. The problem with this, brushing with only this, is that one, you don't have any protective benefits like a fluoride or a nano-hydroxyapatite or anything to remineralize the teeth or help with that. And then two, if you use hydrogen peroxide for a long time, over time, you can get what's called an oral hairy tongue because you're killing certain bacteria over time, and it allows this overgrowth bacteria to have a nasty hairy tongue. It's not a good one. And on number two is very interesting. He said, now that I'm brushing every day with my hydrogen peroxide tube, my gums aren't hurting as much. My teeth aren't hurting. And lastly, I used to have this issue all the time. And so that just doesn't really make sense. And so the only way that I can really make sense of this is that, guess what? He wanted to whiten his teeth. Beforehand, he was just brushing probably not that good, right? But now that he knows that he can brush every day and whiten and brighten his teeth, it's making him want to brush every day. And so when he's brushing every day, and guess what? Cleaning his teeth every day, he's starting to get rid of that bacteria that's causing that inflammation, that pain, that bleeding. And then guess what? His teeth got healthier. And so it really wasn't the hydrogen peroxide per se that was doing it. There is some capabilities there to maybe help with some of the bacteria or something like that, but the main physical act of him just brushing every day and him trying to whiten his teeth with hydrogen peroxide is probably cleaning it up enough, because the mechanical act of just brushing your teeth is the main important thing here when you're brushing your teeth. So what are my thoughts? I would still rather you brush with something that can protect and remineralize your teeth, whether that's a nano-hydroxyapatite or whether that's a fluoride. I do not care. And if you want to use this every now and then to help whiten your teeth over time, that's fine too. You can also use a whitening strip, you can use a whitening gel. I don't care. I just would not do it for the only thing over a long period of time, because you can start to cause those bacterial inconsistencies. And there we go. We got two people right up top. He says the best thing to use, but be careful if you're with your tongue, because you might get hairy tongue. And then Mama said, until you get hairy tongue. And so, I mean, obviously these people do know kind of what's going on. So hopefully they are educated and things like that. But I don't know. I don't really see a problem with it if you want to do it once or twice a week, and it would probably actually whiten your teeth a little bit too. But beware, it does taste disgusting.
You have braces like me, you're gonna get yourself some nitrate sticks, and when you get sores, you're gonna burn them so you can eat and talk. Like this morning, I can't really eat, so you're gonna grab your lip. Oh
yeah, that's a canker sore, all right, isn't it?
Oh Lord. And you're gonna burn it, and it's gonna hurt for just like 10 seconds.
More than 10 seconds.
And then you're good. It's gonna burn it like it just did. And then
I was gonna say, don't go back for more.
And then you're good. And then you're good, okay?
So first off, canker sores suck, okay? They're weirdly enough one of the only things that you cannot get rid of. You just literally have to let it run its course, and it takes about 10 to 14 days for it to go away, and it is painful, super painful. And yes, ever since I was a kid, I actually used to get these, and my mom would give me something like this. It was called like a styptic pencil or something like that, and same thing, you would cauterize it or burn it. This is like a silver nitrate stick or something like that, kind of same thing. I mean, personally, I don't really know if it helps that much. It still hurts. It still does everything. Some people claim that it kind of stops it and creates a thing, but some people say it just makes it hurt way worse. So I don't really buy. I mean, I think you really just need to let it go. And if you have braces specifically, use braces wax. Put the braces wax on there so that that tissue is not getting irritated and hit, because that's normally what causes the canker sore, is a cut or a scratch on your lip. And then yes, these are very burning painful. And also for a lot of people that don't know, this is not a herpetic sore or a cold sore. This is a canker sore, completely different. Canker sores are on the kind of loose tissue here, and a cold sore is actually on the lip or on the hard gum tissue down here. We call that the attached tissue. But still, these are very painful and very noticeable in people that just got got braces because their tissue's trying to adapt to it. So if you get canker sores, then that's like a big deal. The interesting thing is we don't really quite know pinpoint what's causing canker sores. It could be stress, it could be anxiety, it could be like dietary problems, like you're low on iron and things like that. It could also be an underlying issue like Crohn's disease or something like that that you don't know about. And weirdly enough, if you use toothpaste with sodium lauryl sulfate, SLS, the stuff that makes your tooth foam, that can also cause it as well. So basically, there's no way of stopping. I like Mad Natalie. She's like, and then you're good. Yeah, she did not look like she was having a fun time. And DWB says, wow, I feel like it hurts so good. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Trust me, it burns really, really badly. And especially those ones in those areas, every time you talk and every time your teeth hits it, oh, it's the worst. But eventually, you know, well, they'll go away.
Do not trust your dentist. They don't necessarily have your best interest in mind. They're not even taught the way that you can reverse cavities. There are ways to literally reverse new cavities. There are ways to prevent yourself from ever getting a cavity in your life.
Okay, hold up. Hold up. Is this girl trying to call me out like I haven't been educating you guys for the past 7 years on how to do exactly these things? So the whole do not trust your dentist thing, like I get it. There's bad people in every profession. You know, I would say don't trust lawyers, but there's probably a few good lawyers as well, okay? But for real though, joking aside, okay, there's a lot of really great dentists that are spending all of their time trying to educate you guys and do the right thing and all this stuff. So to put her claim, she was like, first off, did you know that dentists don't know how to reverse cavities? Guys, we have talked about this till I am blue in the mouth, okay? Let's get out the trusty dusty model. You see this? This is your enamel. This is your dentin, this is your pulp. If a cavity goes in and does not get into the dentin layer and it's still in the enamel, guess what? It can be reversed. You can use stuff like nano-hydroxyapatite, you know, to remineralize and rebuild up that enamel. And actually, weirdly enough, sometimes just brushing and flossing really good in that area can allow your body to naturally remineralize that area. And yes, we tell people about this all the time. It's literally one of the main things we educate people on. And actually, there's a whole thing called preventative dentists out there that literally bleed and teach this exact thing. And then she also goes on to say how like there's ways that you will never get a cavity ever again, and then goes into oil pulling. Ugh. And I mean, oil pulling is not going to hurt you by any means, but it is definitely not going to keep you from getting cavities for the rest of your life, because a cavity is caused by a bacteria called Strep mutans, okay? It's a bacteria problem. It's like termites to wood. It's like saying coconut oil is gonna magically make termites stop eating into wood. No, it does not work that way. And so old toothpaste, yes, we just strengthened the enamel to stop the termites from eating into the wood, okay? And I'm really not trying to turn this into any product thing. Trust me, I'm not, but our product is the only one that does it currently. I'm sure there will be more in the future that does it. But now we have these biolipid emulsions and biotech products that are now directly targeting and attacking and destroying this specific bacteria. So things like that, even though the mind does the exact thing that you would think would stop you from getting cavities for life, I can't even say that. So why would you say that about coconut oil? But regardless, I'm not trying to sell you a toothpaste or anything like that. The key is I'm trying to educate you. Brush, floss, take care of your teeth. If you happen to have a very high bacterial limit, you're gonna have a higher chance of getting cavities no matter what you do, unfortunately, unless you use some of these newer technologies coming out. And my guess is we're actually going to be completely solving oral disease in 3 to 5 years. That's really what my true benefit is, and that's actually something nice. That's my goal, is to solve oral disease forever, so you never have to buy another tube of toothpaste ever again, which I know is counterintuitive, but still, whatever. And I think she goes on to say that a dentist never tells you about nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste, which is literally like, yeah, I was one of the very first nano-hydroxyapatite toothpaste in all of the United States, you know, and the goal was literally to educate you guys on it, and have been educating on it. So yes, dentists do this, and we do talk about all this type of stuff. And I'm sure there's dentists and stuff that recommend oil pulling and stuff too. It's not gonna harm you. Go have fun, do as much as you want. You can swish your mouth out with water for 20 minutes as well too, and get a lot of benefits from it, I'm sure. But saying every dentist is evil and does not do that is it's just not true. Matesso says, and we should trust you because, I mean, that's true. She probably has no dental education at all. She probably nothing in there other than what she's found on the internet, which surprisingly with AI is going to get better and better, and we're actually going to get more informed, and we're going to be really smart one day, which is going to be awesome. Until then, I'm just trying to educate you guys. And then Krista says, I'm a dental hygienist. I recommend both of these things. So see, other dental professionals recommend some of these things already as well too, which just makes more sense. And Zach says, trust my dentist? No. Trust someone on TikTok? Yes. But you know what'd be even better than that? It's just trusting a dentist on TikTok. But once again, what do I know?
Hey girlies, put my lumens in with me. Today is my 20th birthday.
My man's is 20, by the way. Okay, this is kind of weird because he does have rubber band hooks, but he's got no braces on. That tells me that,
I'm just being fucking big.
bro, there's no way 20-year-olds act like this, right? That's not like a real thing. He can't be 20. There's no way. That's like a 13-year-old. I know 13-year-olds that act like this. But anyways, he probably has Invisalign because those buttons are normally meant for cross bites. And if he doesn't have braces, it just would not, like there's nothing to stabilize it. So you need to have, he's looking at me, I don't know what to say. So he needs to have some type of aligner to actually hold his teeth in there. So that doesn't make sense. But yeah, the way he's wearing those are cross bite ones. Okay, I think he's just being weird now again because that's not a real rubber band. This is a real person. Is this how people act these days? Oh yeah, and then there's the aligners going in. See, I told you he's got the Invisalign. No, first off, you would put those in first and then you would put the rubber bands on after normally. You wouldn't. Okay, I'm done with it. What a weird generation this is. This man is not 20 years old. It's like, I know 11-year-olds are more mature than this. Meg says face card saving him for real. He definitely probably looks Maxis. I will give him that. And then Livy says, happy birthday, Slay Queen. And you know what? How rude of me. Happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday. I hope you have an awesome one. Oh, we got some ASMR here. Oh my goodness. And then they come off and you're ready to go. That is so satisfying, by the way. But let's go ahead and let's start at the beginning, see what he's got, and then we'll go through this little transformation here. So at the start, before the braces go on, my man's got a lot of crowding. His front teeth are really tight here too. When you unravel all these, they're gonna move forward and start to line up. One of the things that could happen from here is he could get what's called an open bite, because if these guys are already touching and they open up further, guess what? Now that creates an open bite. See that? See how that creates a little open bite there? And so that's something that normally you would see in a case like this. And so let's see what happens at the very end. So we're going all the way through, he's putting the wires in, yada, 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 the bones move, and then we stop. And so now that the braces are off, you can actually kind of see exactly kind of what I talked about there. A little bit of an overbite here on this lateral side. And so normally what you would do specifically, and we actually see this quite a bit, is you would take these little laterals and you would drop them down. Because when you have kind of a smile arc like this and then you break it by having the laterals too hard up, you start to get this bunny tooth look. And I'm sure you guys know people with that bunny tooth look. It might even be you yourself. And really it's nothing wrong. People think that it's the two front teeth that are too big. And that's not actually the case. It's just these laterals need to come down a little bit to smooth out that arc and give you that nice smile arc, that Hollywood smile, you would say. Sierra says, I wish this process was this fast. Yes, I also wish braces were only 10 seconds instead of like 1.5 years to 2 years. And then Hassan said, do I need braces, my brother in Christ? Yes. Yes, you do. You need more than that. That looks like you need some jaw surgery. And then CY says, the power of braces, no, the power of AI. And yes, AI is getting pretty crazy. Actually, let me know down below what you guys think about AI, because I'm gonna start to probably integrate some AI, I think, into my stuff. It's just too powerful to do some really cool stuff to educate you guys on. But I wanna know down below what you guys think, if you would hate me for using AI or not, because I'm probably gonna use it anyways, I'm just letting you know. But you know what else I need to do is hit that like button and subscribe, because I need to get to 10 million to get this dang bracket off my teeth, please, and keep tagging me in the crazy videos. I find them amusing. I'll see you next week.